Imagine an ocean that has lost its voice. That's what happened along Canada's Pacific coast. For thousands of years, sea otters were the playful engineers of this vibrant marine world. Their presence kept the ecosystem in balance, their daily routines woven into the fabric of coastal life. But everything changed with the arrival of the maritime fur trade. Sea otter fur was prized, and relentless hunting drove them to local extinction by the early 1900s. The ocean fell quiet. The familiar sight of otters vanished, and the ecosystem lost a keystone species. Without otters, a strange stillness settled over the underwater landscape. The web of life began to unravel, slowly and almost invisibly. Removing otters was like pulling a critical piece from an archway. The entire structure weakened. Indigenous communities who had coexisted with otters for generations felt this loss deeply. The silence was not just ecological but cultural, a wound to their traditions and way of life. The once rich waters became less productive, less diverse. Kelp forests thinned, and the vibrant tapestry of marine life faded. What remained was a barren, desolate seascape, a stark reminder of what happens when a keystone species disappears. With sea otters gone, sea urchins began to thrive unchecked. Otters once kept urchin populations in balance, eating dozens daily and protecting kelp forests. Without predators, urchins multiplied rapidly, spreading across the seafloor in vast numbers. They devoured kelp holdfasts, severing the plants from the rocky bottom. Kelp forests vanished, replaced by urchin barrens, lifeless stretches of rock and rubble. The loss of kelp was catastrophic for the entire ecosystem. Kelp forests are underwater rainforests, sheltering hundreds of species. When kelp disappeared, so did the fish, invertebrates, and all who depended on them. The rich marine community collapsed, replaced by a silent, empty landscape. Economically, fisheries suffered and tourism faded. For First Nations, the loss was profound. Traditional foods and materials vanished. The ocean became a shadow of its former self. This was the cost of losing a keystone species. By the late 1960s, scientists realized the coast needed its missing guardians. The plan reintroduced sea otters from healthy populations in Alaska. It was a bold, uncertain mission. No one had tried this before. Between 1969 and 1972, biologists captured and transported otters to British Columbia. The journey was tough. Many otters struggled to adapt. When released, their survival was far from guaranteed. Early years brought setbacks. Many otters disappeared, and local fishers worried about competition. Tensions rose between ecological restoration and economic needs. Still, scientists persevered, planting a small seed of hope with just 89 otters. For years, their fate was uncertain, scattered along a rugged coast. But slowly, survivors found each other, formed groups, and raised pups. The quiet comeback of the sea otter had begun. Against the odds, hope returned to the coast. As otters returned, the ecosystem began to transform. Otters feasted on urchins, clearing them from the sea floor. With urchin pressure gone, kelp forests regrew, bringing color and life back to the ocean. The kelp's return triggered a cascade. Fish, herring, and invertebrates flourished. The food web, once broken, began to rebuild itself. Kelp forests protected coastlines from erosion and absorbed carbon, fighting climate change. Fish populations recovered, supporting local fisheries. The reborn kelp forests attracted divers and tourists, creating new economic opportunities. The otter's comeback proved nature's resilience. One species helped unlock the recovery of an entire ecosystem. Otters were not just predators, they were restorers. Their return became a symbol of hope for conservation worldwide. The sea otter's return reminds us how deeply all life is connected. But the work isn't over. Otters still face challenges as their numbers grow and conflicts with humans arise. Coexistence requires ongoing dialogue and creative solutions. New threats, climate change, acidification, pollution demand our attention. Protecting otters means addressing these larger issues too. This comeback is a blueprint for conservation everywhere. Reintroducing keystone species, rewilding, can restore balance and biodiversity. Each ecosystem is unique, but the lesson is universal. Nature can heal if given a chance. By restoring keystone species, we help revive our planet's ecosystems. The sea otter's journey is a global message of hope.